Hey guys, welcome to this video. Alright, so in this video, as the title says, we're going to talk about Nintendo Direct and what the year brings for Nintendo, or what I'm looking for from Nintendo this year, and maybe things that I would love Nintendo to announce that probably isn't going to happen, but it'd be great if it did. Alright, so let's get to the video. Alright, so things Nintendo Direct games in 2019. Alright, so 2018 wasn't the busiest year for, say, blockbuster titles or anything for Nintendo. I mean, yes, they had Pokemon Let's Go, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but a lot of Nintendo fans would probably say it was a little light compared to 2017. That doesn't mean there wasn't great games if you looked and you went out. I know a lot of people hate on the NES Online, but you know what? I been enjoying it for the past couple weeks. I've been playing new games I never had on the NES, and loving the fact of being able to play a game with the save feature, put it down, come back to it later. I hope they keep adding NES games. I hope maybe they add some Super NES games in there too. You know, maybe do at the beginning of the months, 2 NES, 1 Super NES, and I kind of hope in the Direct that's what they announce. I hope they announce in the Nintendo Direct. I don't know when one's going to happen yet, but January is usually a good sign for Nintendo. I'm hoping that maybe they announce, hey, starting this month, Super NES is going to be available on the online app as well. And not only that, I hope they actually announce. I don't know if there's a feature for it yet. But folders. It'd be nice if I could group things into folders because that page is getting pretty big. I know you can move apps around or games around and put them next to each other, but a folder system would be nice. Maybe there is one. It's just some kind of weird combination that I'm not doing. But I hope that's a feature that comes to it. So I'm hoping the Nintendo Direct, first of all, if that's going to be the only announcement, is a pretty cool announcement. I feel like for January's announcements, it's probably going to be more about the games that are getting released soon. I don't think they're going to drop a big old bombshell like, hey, this game is coming out this year. I think that's more of an E3 area announcement. I think it's more going to be like, hey, Willy World is coming out for blah, 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 and hey, we're going to be adding a downloadable content to it or something along those lines. I doubt they're going to announce a lot of big hidden games. It doesn't mean they won't, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be little things that you weren't expecting. Maybe like this Super NES games for the online service. Or, maybe with the announcement of that, they're like, oh, and you can get Super Nintendo controllers for the online to buy for your Switch as well. Yes, it would stink because you just bought regular NES controllers for $60, or $50. But at the same time, Super Nintendo would be nice as well. So that would be a cool announcement. On top of that, it'd be nice to see new trailers for the games that are announced. We're not going to see a Metroid Prime 4 trailer. That's such a big game. That's E3 automatically. A Pikmin game, probably E3 as well. What I'm thinking is this Direct focuses on the games they've already announced, coming out soon, and then maybe 1 or 2 big bombshells, kind of. Probably more like ports. I know people hate ports, but, Metroid Prime Trilogy port to the Switch. Why not? You announce it at this E3, or this Direct, have it come out sometimes through the middle of the year, and then E3 comes around, maybe shows you the trailer, Metroid Prime 4, maybe at the Christmas, or maybe sometimes next spring, and then you have Metroid Prime Trilogy holding you off. Yeah, I know people don't like ports. I don't mind them, especially if, I didn't already have it for an older console, and I'd like to get my hands back onto it. I don't mind the ports coming over from the Wii U because I own a Wii U. So when they get announced, the prices for the Wii U games drop. So like Hyrule Warriors, yeah, it's for the Switch, but I just picked it up for $5 the other day for buy 3 get 15 for $10 games at GameStop. So I mean, I'm okay with that because it allows me to still play the game on the Wii U, and that's fine. And then people still get the chance to buy it for the Switch. So I'm thinking more ports. At the same time, ports can be a big bombshell too, because what if it's like Super Mario Galaxy for this year? They're like, oh, we're gonna port, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 over to the Switch, or something like that, or Skyward Swords. So it's like, January is an iffy month. You gotta be some big reveal to kind of keep the hype up, but also save your stuff for E3 like everybody else does. So speaking of ports, we'll get away from the Direct for a little bit. So games for this year that I want to see. Obviously, Luigi's Mansion 3 needs a little bit more airtime. That could be probably not this Direct either. They might tease it a little bit, but I don't think they'll add any more new footage. I think that's their E3 as well. Who knows? I could be wrong. I'm hoping wrong. I like seeing the videos, but at the same time, if the game's not coming out until the end of the year, I don't need to be teased that much. Pokemon game this year. Yeah, I think that's a big E3 announcement as well. That's probably not going to be for a January Direct. Maybe more Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I think we'll probably see more of that at this Direct. Add to that. That's probably going to be the big, look over. Just because it was recently announced. And it has more time to go over it more. And it's directly done by Nintendo. Sonic Racing may see a little bit more of that. Animal Crossing. I've never really been a big Animal Crossing game, but I kind of like maybe get my hands on it this time around and see what Nintendo plans on doing with Animal Crossing for a Switch. Yeah, it'd be cool if they show something like that, or show more about it. I've never really played Animal Crossing, so I just need to really keep seeing what they have to reveal, and maybe it gets me hooked. Other games I'm kind of looking forward to, Trials Rising. I really like the Trials games, so having it on my Switch for the first time would be awesome. I played them on the Xbox usually, and I think I'd like having it as a portable game, because it's one of those games I kind of like, you play for 30 seconds real quick, and you can relax for a bit. You don't need it on the big screen. The other one I'm looking for is Dragon Quest Builders 2. I really love Dragon Quest Builders 1. The best part about it, if you name your character Link, the game opened up, and you felt like you were playing like a Legend of Zelda Minecraft game, based kind of like on the idea of Breath of the Wild. It's weird. If you haven't played it, try out the demo for it. It's on the Switch, and name your character Link, and you'll feel like you're playing a Zelda game. Yeah, those are really the games that I know are coming out this year that, I'm excited to see, and they'll probably be in the Direct or sometimes along that. But what about the games that I'd like Nintendo to drop a bombshell? Now, they could do it at any Nintendo Direct, E3, anytime this year. But what I'd like to see for Nintendo 2019 would be, I've said it once in an older video, but Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the 3DS version, ported over to the Switch. I have it for the 3DS, but I would like to play it on the big screen, sit down on my couch with those new textures, and play the game. That would be awesome. I don't think it'd be a hard thing to do, considering that they're taking 3DS games, and they're on the Switch, and they're on the 3DS as well. So why not start porting over 3DS games? They've already been out a long time, so not going to hurt your sales for the 3DS, because the games are years old at this point on the 3DS. So, maybe do like a dual Legend of Zelda N64 pack, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, on the Switch with the Master Quest, obviously. Yeah, $60, I'd buy that right there. So, that'd be my favorite one out of everything they could announce. Unless there's just something I'm not thinking about that I would love to see. That's the one I really would love to see them do. The other thing that'd be cool, if maybe they did Super Mario All-Stars treatment for the Switch, like they kind of did for the Wii, but bump up the graphics again, kind of like the way the Super Nintendo looked compared to the regular NES. Maybe make it look like New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, but set in Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, and maybe even add Super Mario Bros. World to that equation and, update the graphics to it. New take on an old game. I know the 3D games are on, the Super Mario Bros. Games are on the NES Online, but that'd be kind of a new little way. That way you have the lost levels and all that. Yeah, that'd be neat. Other ports, Super Mario Galaxy, obviously, that'd be a nice one. Super Mario Sunshine. I think they're probably going to still focus on Wii U, but I think they need to dive into 3DS and bring those games. And, there's a handful of games they could announce, but those are the ones that I would really love seeing. Yes, I've played them before, but I'd play them again, so... maybe Sega jumps in and announces some, ports of their own. Sonic Adventures DX from the Nintendo GameCube, Skies of Arcadia Legends. I've heard that it didn't do so well for Sega. But you know what? Bring it back. Direct port. You don't got to do anything fancy to it, but if you bring it onto the Switch, you can make money off of a game that you've already made that hopefully wouldn't take too much time and effort to bring over. And even if it sells 500,000 copies, I think that would help them out. You wouldn't really have to market it, because cult classics like that, the people that are going to buy those games, the minute they hear about it, they don't need any market. They'll market the game themselves. If they want it to sell, they'll share it with all their friends. They'll show everyone, and the word of mouth will do well. It's kind of the great thing about social media nowadays. It kind of does help games get a widespread marketing without them paying too much money. So, yeah, I'd like to see Skies of Arcadia. Maybe Jet Set Radio Future. Yeah. Jet Set Radio Future or Jet Grind Radio. Port it over to the Switch. I think Sega has such a big backlog. Port them over. The Switch is going to be a great handheld, especially for Dreamcast games, Sega CD, Sega Saturn. Bring some of those games over and you create a new log for people to buy. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm hoping for Nintendo this year. Legend of Zelda, another big one. Skyward Sword. I'd be shocked if they don't bring that in an HD reversion. Now this one could be one that's announced at a Direct. Or any Direct other than E3. Super Mario Maker. Now, it should be ported. It's a great game. Love playing it for the Wii U. It's probably one of their most popular games that people just kept playing. So bring it over, port it. That'd be a huge announcement. The other thing is maybe a 3D, a sequel, but Super Mario 3D Maker. So you can make your 2D games, but Super Mario 3D World, the isometric version where, you're not 3D like Mario 64, but you're 3D back and forth, going up on top of your levels. I think that one could be handled by a maker system and build it yourself. That would be a nice bombshell. I think that one could be one they save for a regular Direct. Because, it's kind of like more of a, not mainline title, but, just a recent add-on to Nintendo. I think that would be cool. The other thing I think Nintendo is going to probably announce this year is more downloadable content from Mario Odyssey or a new Mario Odyssey game. So, a sequel to Mario Odyssey, keeping the engine so they don't have to rebuild a game from the ground up, and you get a second chance in that world. Because if you don't do a second game, what do you do at Cappy? A lot of times when Nintendo creates a new style and they move on to a new game, you kind of lose some of those moves from the old games. Well, you need to do another game in the Mario Odyssey world to use Cappy. So that ability is really awesome. So why rebuild a whole new system and a whole new game when you have a feature that's already built for another game? So extend Mario Odyssey. Whether that's a second game or a downloadable content, I think for Nintendo, the money is, do a Mario Odyssey 2. New worlds, you're on a ship, discover a new world. So you discover a whole set of new planets or places to visit that are further away than you thought, and now you have a second game with Cappy going on an adventure. You don't really need a story. Just say, hey, Mario and Cappy wanted to go out and travel the world, and hey, they found a new place, and now they're fighting all these things again. Does that have to be King Koopa? Yeah, sure. Bowser goes and does something else. Maybe he gets angry and just decides to take over a new world he found and destroyed the whole place up, and people just want him out. And then you go and bother him, and he's like, no, I don't want to leave. And then he fights, and, now we have a Super Mario Odyssey 2. Simple as that. Because you could do downloadable content for that, but I think Nintendo could just make a whole new game and sell it for $60 versus $20. That'd be a nice addition. Breath of the Wild 2, or more downloadable content. I don't think that'll be announced this year. That'd be awesome, but I don't see that. If anything, it'd be downloadable content. It wouldn't be a second game. I think we'd get Skyward Sword's announcement before we get a second game, which sucks, really. Which isn't really fun. I wish there was another one. All right, well, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the things I see for it this year. Out of the hat, if we had to see something different on the Switch, maybe. Yeah, no, maybe more Mario Party content announcement, like a whole huge add-on to the game. Other than that, yeah. So that's what I see for Nintendo 2019 at the moment. The things I'd like to see, the things that I hope come out or get announced, and hopefully in a couple months before E3, I can do another video of things I'd like to see for the rest of 2019, because by then maybe some of these things happen and I'm got my hopes up for more. Alright guys, thanks for watching, thanks for checking out my videos. Hit the like button, share, please watch the other videos that I have, and leave a comment on another video you'd like to see or the games you'd like to see come out for Nintendo this year. Alright guys, have a good night, keep on gaming, and catch you later.